Hi, welcome. This video is on how to solve for an angle in a right triangle. This is the highly proficient video. Um, Given a right triangle with a leg length of A equals 4 centimeters and a hypotenuse length of C equals 7.5 centimeters, find the angle measures of the triangle. And then it says here, hint, draw a triangle. So we're going to do that. Let's go, we'll just go right here. I'm not going to worry about drawing it to scale. You can if you want to. That means that these may not look right, but it's okay. So if the hypotenuse, remember the hypotenuse is always the one that's opposite the right angle, and so they've told us the hypotenuse length of C equals 7.5 is right there, and I'm just gonna put an H to help us remember that's what we have. And I'm also going to note that this is C, and since I already know that we generally put the capital C at the right angle, and so C, that's 90 degrees, and we already know that. So if A is 4, here you could decide whichever you want here. What's a little A, what's B? It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to put 4 right here. And both this is 4 centimeters, this is also centimeters, and since it's little a, opposite little a would be big A, and opposite this one, which would be little b, the other one would just be big B. So that's angle B. And I can still choose either A or B to find first. It doesn't matter. It's just going to change how they're labeled. A quick example of that. If I choose A, then this is the opposite. The hypotenuse does not change. But if I change and find angle B first, then this 4 centimeters is the adjacent. And so whether it's opposite or adjacent depends on which angle you decide to look at. So I'm going to, since I've got it on B here, I'll just find B first. And then that means this is the adjacent. I'll just change that to capital A, D, J here, the adjacent. So I have H and I've got A. We go back to our mnemonic. So, ka, doa. And we note that we have A and we have H. And so A and H is this one. That's the cosine. And so we're going to use the cosine. So I'm just going to, at this point, I'm going to write the cosine of B. I could put theta. I'll just put B. It doesn't matter. So the cosine of B then is equal to A over H. A is 4 and H is 7.5. It's not necessary to put the units on there. So if the cosine of B is 4 over 7.5, then the angle B is equal to the inverse cosine of that ratio, 4 over 7.5. So I go to my calculator. And please make note that here it says degree at the top. It's got to be in degrees if you want your answer to be in degrees. And we do this year, at least. So degrees. So we're going to put second function, cosine, gives us the inverse cosine of 4 divided by 7.5. Now, before I hit enter, I just want to flip back and take a look to make sure that that is actually what the ratio is, or check your work on your paper. Those are the sorts of silly mistakes that we make that cost us correct answers. So yeah, 4 over 7.5. That's what I've got written. That's consistent with what that's consistent with what we see in the problem. And so so we should be good. Inverse cosine of 4 over 7.5. We hit enter. and it gives us 57.769, etc., etc., etc. Pay attention to what you're being asked, how far you're asked to round. If we're not being asked to round, I may just round this to the nearest degree. And I don't see that it says. Check the top of the paper sometimes. Oh, hey, here it says round decimals to the hundredths place. So that's 2 decimal places. I'm going to go back down there and change that. I've done some of the other problems incorrectly. So to the hundredths place, that's 2 places over from the decimal. So 57.76, but the one next to the 6, that's my last digit. That's the only one that's going to change. The only time that any digit other than the last digit would change is if it were a 9. But the 9 right next to it, being 5 or greater, makes this 6 a 7. So it's 57.77. Beta is approximately equal to 57.77 degrees. This is 57.77 degrees. Yep. And then, sorry, put it in the wrong spot. 57.77 degrees. A then is just using the triangle sum theorem. I'm going to take 180 minus 90 minus 57.77 degrees, and that will give us that angle A is equal to 180 minus 90 minus 57.77, and that gives us 32.23. 32.23 degrees. 32.23 degrees. So, in short, thing to keep in mind here is that whenever you have the inverse sine, the inverse cosine, or the inverse tangent, you're looking for an angle. The result of this on a calculator will be an angle. An angle measure. All right. En español. Ahora, dice, given a right triangle, dado un triángulo rectángulo, with a leg length, con un longitud del cateto of A equals 4 centimeters, de A igual a 4 centímetros, and a hypotenuse length y una longitud de hipotenusa of C equals 7.5 centimeters, de C igual a 7.5 centímetros. Find the angle measures. Encuentre los ángulos, las medidas de los ángulos of the triangle, del triángulo. Y dice, hint, que es pista, dibuja un triángulo, draw a triangle. Ahora, lo dibujé. Y cuando lo dibujé, no importaba tanto donde puse A ni B, pero normalmente la C mayúscula, que es el ángulo C, lo ponemos al ángulo recto, lo que significa que opuesto de ese ángulo recto es la hipotenusa, y nos dijeron de que eso es C igual a 7.5, es la longitud de la hipotenusa. Entonces, yo decidí que podría haber puesto el ángulo que quiero enfocarme podría haber sido aquí o aquí. Y yo decidí ponerlo ahí por ninguna razón especial. Entonces, puesto de que eso dijeron que es A minúscula, A mayúscula es su opuesto acá. Y eso sería entonces B. Entonces, usé H y A y busqué de que eso es el cosine, H, A y H, y escribí la ecuación. El cosine de B es igual a 4 sobre 7.5. A, 4.5, perdón, 4, disculpe, A sobre A, que es 4, el adyacente, que es 4, sobre H, la hipotenusa, es 7.5. Entonces puse 4 sobre 7.5. Y cuando tienes la ecuación escrita así, para despejar lo que tiene ese cosine, haces el inverse cosine. Y eso se hace con la segunda función en la calculadora. Entonces B es igual a inverse cosine de esa razón trigonométrica del cosine. Cuando lo estás haciendo eso, estás diciendo a la calculadora qué ángulo tiene esta razón trigonométrica de cosine. Y cuando lo haces en la calculadora, te sale ese 57.76. Y hay que prestar atención a lo que dice, dónde tiene que redondear. Y decía aquí, round decimals to the hundredth place. Eso es hundredths, es centésimas. Entonces, las centésimas es el segundo, ese es 6, pero el 9 a su costado hace que se rondea arriba a 57.77. Se rondea a un 7. Entonces ese 57.77 más el 90, le restamos ambos ángulos de 180 y nos dio el tercero, 32.23. Y esos son los ángulos. Gracias por mirar. Siga para adelante.